I'm Khadija Glasgow-Speer. I am an actress, producer, writer, creative consultant. I wear many hats. I'm a designer. I have a swim line. I'm Sharon's daughter. I'm Zach's wife. I am Kobe and Rakia's sister. I love God and I love people.
You have been making the rounds on social media these past few days in particular because of a scene from a TV series in the US that you're part of called Atlanta. But before we get into that, tell us a bit more about yourself, your Trininess, because I understand you're Trinidad and Tobago born. Tell us about yourself and how you got into acting and your transition across to the US as well.
I think I'm a born performer. My mother would tell everybody about me performing on her center table as a toddler. So in preschool, I went to Sunshine Preschool. I was exposed to different aspects of the performing arts. Also in primary school, Auntie Debbie of the Little Craft Arts Academy came in there and she would teach all the students. But because of my knack for it, she introduced me to Best Village. From there, I performed with a number of Best Village groups, starting with the Mongdo cultural performers who also represent Trinidad and Tobago internationally, the Malik Folk Performing Company, the Julia Edwards Dance Company, the National Theatre Company. I was a part of the first command performance of the National Theatre Company, Salt and Light Productions, Focus Arts Productions out of the UK, the Festival Theatre Company. Oh my God, it's so much. So by me listing all these theatre companies that I would have performed with in Trinidad and Tobago shows you how Trini I am. I taught theatre at high school. I had the distinct pleasure of teaching both my alma maters, Five Rivers Junior Sec and St. Augustine Secondary Green Machine before I went on to Holy Cross College. In my late teens, I started the Sicily Theatre Company with people in my neighborhood and people from my school. And then in the Department for Creative and Festival Arts, UWIs, where I studied theater and festival management, cultural studies, film. So I am 100% Trini. So the transition from Trinidad to the US was that I was in a long distance relationship for a while. And you actually get in the real part of this story now, because this is personal. Right. My husband was like, listen, everything you do in Trinidad for 5 people, you could do for 25 if you come here. And I was like, Lord, and the Lord was like, this is your husband. So where he is where your home is, and it was real tough. My students at Holy Cross would know how tough it was every year saying, okay, this term I will move, because it was a pull, because I also did media. I did radio and television in Trinidad. I was on Sky 99.5 FM, and then I had my open book show that I produced that made the rounds from Synergy to CNC3, and then I was on Trinity TV just a little while before I migrated to the States. So I was like comfortable home. But then the love of my life pulled me over to the US, and God has begun showing me that this is the path, this is the trajectory, this is the direction in which I want you to go, because of how he unfold things in my life. Everybody have their own experience, everybody have their own journey. But in my journey, I must say, God has been consistently showing me, yes, you're talented, yes, your gifts will make room for you and all of that. But all of these things are happening because I see it could happen for you. And that's just my reality, And
now one of the stops on this journey that you've been on is the Atlanta TV series. And I've noticed the Trini accent, the Trinbagonian accent, plays a very important role throughout the series, but particularly in the episode called Trini to the Bone. Now, what could you tell us about the importance of the accent in the series and how it became to be part of the series in the first place?
Right. So Donald Glover was a nanny. Childish Gambino, during his college years, was a nanny. And most of the other nannies who worked in the agency with him were Trinidadians. And so he developed a profound love for Trinidad, the people, through these women he would have been interacting with. And, he commented on their genuineness, their love. He commented on how much they would, give the integrity, how much they would give to these families that they worked with. And the families are just like so detached while they are so attached. And that was just like really mind-blowing for him on a human level. Donald Glover is what we would call in Trinidad a griot. The Calypsonian who tells the story, who reflects. And so with all the work that he's doing, not just with Atlanta, but with some of his other projects, you see where he is making statements without particularly presenting his opinion or anyone's opinion for that matter, but just being a reflection of what is. And so this episode was supposed to be a reflection of many different themes. One, of course, how people see nannies as just a nanny. It's okay to be just a nanny. I'm a functionalist. We all need each other. But this was a woman who had a full life. She was a professional dancer. She has a family of her own. She has family members in high places, yet she was humble onto taking care of other people's children. Another aspect of it was the racism, the subtle racism of how the white family was like so detached. They weren't even sure what was happening with their own child. What are the cultural norms that he is developing as a result of being in this situation? But the thing about Donald was that he wanted everything to be accurate. And so he hired me as the cultural consultant on the episode. So I actually had that job even before I auditioned for the role. So I was already working on the script and everything before I even had an opportunity to audition for the role that I played.
And I know it would mean a lot to you, to being a born and bred Trinbagonian, to hear the accent so prominently featured in a US TV series, but divulge a little bit how you felt when the final product was aired.
That is a real big question. And I'm trying to make sure I could answer within the confines of my non-disclosure agreement. But of course, everyone knows that not every scene that was filmed would make the final edit. So there were a few more scenes where Trinidad was highlighted even more prominently in terms of our language, in terms of our cultural forms. So because I had all that back knowledge, it was like, oh my God, this is amazing. But it would have been even more amazing if the show could have been an hour and a half long.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes. I understand that. So given that you've worked in this role now as a creative consultant, I assume, I'm going to healthily assume, that you'll be doing some more projects similarly moving forward in your career. What do you have planned in your career that you can actually speak about at this point in time?
Nothing. Everything that I'm working on now, heavy lock and key. But I am working on other projects that I think one of them or two are supposed to come out this year. And I'm telling people, not every project you would hear a Trini accent, and you see how different I look right now to how I look in that show. So you might even feel like you see Khadija, and that's the beauty of acting. The beauty of acting is that you're never supposed to really see the actor, but in this situation, Donald was like, Khadija, I want to use your name because I want people to feel how I felt when I first met you and you introduced yourself. And he's like, everybody's supposed to know the name Khadija by the time the episode, and that's on a personal level, right? And that ties back to what I was telling you about. God just have a way of doing things for me to understand. Like, listen, this is me. This is kind of not normal though. And so it's very humbling, boy. It real is very humbling. And so I'm just excited to see where this journey is taking me.
I know you're working on things they can't tell us too much about, but we're very
Yeah.
excited to see what you have planned for the future. Folks, if they're trying to keep tabs on what you're doing, how can they keep in touch with Khadija?
I am not very much a social media person. So Instagram is it for me. Follow me on Instagram at Khajida Glasgow. There's no H at the end of Khadija, so it's KhadijaGlasgow. And I will try to post more often on Instagram too. I am just happy that Trinidad get to see how much we are loved. Donald Glover has never been to Trinidad. So his love for Trinidad is not on the tangible beach and I mean, he really love doubles. he really love doubles. But it's not the tangible beach and landscape and carnival and all these other reasons why other people who are not Trinidad and Tobagonians love Trinidad and Tobago. He loves Trinidad and Tobago because of the people, because of us, because of who we are. And so I just want to remind Trinidad and Tobago to love. We have to love ourselves. We have to appreciate ourselves. We have to share ourselves because other people love and appreciate us.
Khadija Glasgow-Speer, thank you very much for chatting with us. All the best going forward in your career.
Thank you so much for having me, Rai.
You're most welcome.